They tested Earth's caffeine and haven't slept in 3 cycles. The Galactic Council's xenobiology lab hummed with activity as Dr. Elena Chen placed her travel mug on the sterile white counter. The amber liquid inside rippled as the station's artificial gravity fluctuated momentarily. Around her, 3 Vraxian scientists observed with their compound eyes gleaming with scientific curiosity. "You consume this substance daily?" asked senior researcher Zekthor, his chitinous mandibles clicking with apparent concern. "Our preliminary scans indicate it contains a powerful psychoactive alkaloid." Elena smiled, brushing a strand of dark hair from her face. "It's just coffee. We've been drinking it for centuries. Helps us wake up, stay focused during long shifts." She took a deliberate sip, watching the aliens recoil slightly. The Vraxians exchanged glances through their complex visual network. They had been studying human biology for 3 standard cycles now, ever since Earth had been accepted into the Galactic Council. Humans were fascinating creatures, classified as a Class 7 persistent species, but their biochemistry remained largely mysterious to the wider galaxy. "Fascinating," Zekthor murmured, his translation device rendering his chittering into perfect English. "And this substance, this caffeine, it is not regulated on your world?" "Regulated?" Elena laughed. "It's in everything. Coffee, tea, energy drinks, chocolate. Kids drink soda with it." Adam Reeves, her research partner, entered the lab carrying a cardboard tray loaded with steaming cups. His security clearance badge swung from his neck as he grinned at the assembled aliens. "Got the good stuff from the human quarter. Figured you'd want to see a proper coffee demonstration." The Vraxians bristled with excitement. This was precisely the kind of cultural exchange the Council promoted. Understanding human customs was essential for integration, and what better way than to experience their dietary habits firsthand? "We would very much like to analyze this beverage," Zekthor declared. "With your permission, of course." Adam set down the tray and pushed 1 cup toward the aliens. "Knock yourselves out. It's a triple espresso, though. Might want to start with something lighter." But Vraxians were not a species known for caution. They had evolved on a high-gravity world where only the bold survived. Zekthor lifted the cup with his primary manipulator appendages, his olfactory sensors flaring as he detected the complex aromatic compounds. "The chemical composition is remarkable," noted junior researcher Hicksville, reading the data streaming across her handheld scanner. "This caffeine molecule is similar to our own adenosine. It must interact with neural receptors." "It blocks them, actually," Elena explained, settling onto a lab stool. "Makes you feel less tired by preventing the drowsiness signals from getting through." Zekthor made what might have been a thoughtful sound. Then, with the deliberate gravity of a scientist testing a hypothesis, he consumed half the espresso in one motion. For a moment, nothing happened. Then Zekthor's compound eyes dilated. His carapace began producing a faint bioluminescent glow, patterns racing across his exoskeleton like electricity. His mandibles clacked rapidly, a sign of extreme agitation in Vraxian physiology. "By the void," he whispered, his voice pitched higher than normal. "I can perceive individual photons. I can count the electrons spinning around." He paused, swiveling all 3 of his ocular clusters toward Elena. "How do you function with this coursing through your system?" Adam exchanged a worried glance with Elena. "You okay there, Doc?" Okay. Zekthor's voice modulated through several frequencies. "I feel as though I could calculate hyperspatial coordinates in my head. I could reorganize the entire periodic table. I could..." He grabbed the scanner from Hicksville's manipulators and began entering data at superhuman speed. "I can finally solve the Kravec paradox. I have been working on it for 17 cycles, and now I understand." Hicksville and the 3rd researcher, Takar, looked at each other in alarm. Then, with the synchronized curiosity of their species, they each grabbed a cup and drank. The effect was immediate and profound. Within minutes, all 3 Vraxians were moving at frantic speeds, their bodies vibrating with excess energy. They dismantled and reassembled lab equipment, composed lengthy research papers in real time, and engaged in rapid-fire conversations that their translation devices could barely keep pace with. "This is extraordinary," Takar exclaimed, already halfway through redesigning the station's power distribution network on a holographic display. "Why did no one tell us about this miracle compound?" Elena watched with growing concern as Zekthor began attempting to juggle plasma samples. "Because we build up a tolerance. We need more and more of it just to feel normal, and you guys just mainlined what would give a human the shakes for hours. Tolerance? Zekthor froze mid-juggle. You mean the effects diminish? Yeah, that's why humans drink so much of it. Your species has never been exposed to caffeine before, so you're getting the full, unfiltered experience. Adam checked his datapad, scrolling through xenobiological compatibility charts. According to this, Vraxian neural chemistry is actually more sensitive to adenosine receptor antagonists than human chemistry. By a factor of about 7. 7? Elena's eyes widened. So that triple espresso you gave them is like 21 shots of espresso for a human, yeah. Adam winced. My bad. The next 3 cycles were chaos. The Vraxian researchers did not sleep. They could not sleep. Their brains, supercharged by the caffeine coursing through their systems, refused to shut down. They produced 17 breakthrough papers, redesigned the station's waste recycling system to operate at 340% efficiency, and accidentally discovered a new form of mathematics they called hypercalculus. Zekthor personally filed 147 patent applications. Human security officers found Takar attempting to alphabetize the station's entire library physically by hand at 3 in the morning. HFY had composed an opera, learned to play 6 musical instruments, and was teaching herself quantum chromodynamics from first principles. By the end of the 3rd cycle, the Vraxians were exhausted but wired, their bodies betraying them as the caffeine finally began to metabolize. Zekthor returned to the xenobiology lab, his bioluminescent patterns now flickering erratically. His movements were jerky, uncoordinated. He looked like he had aged 17 cycles in 3 days. Dr. Chen, he said, his voice hoarse and unsteady, I must ask you something of vital importance. Elena looked up from her work. Are you okay? Do you need medical attention? How? Zekthor asked, swaying slightly. How do humans consume this substance every single day and not descend into complete insanity? Adam, who was nursing his own morning coffee, shrugged. Practice, I guess. And maybe we're already a little insane. It's kind of our thing. The Vraxian researcher collapsed into a chair designed for human proportions, his exoskeleton creaking. We have learned something profound about your species today. You are not just persistence predators. You are beings who have weaponized your own biochemistry. You dose yourselves with a compound that would incapacitate most species just to function normally. It's really not that dramatic, Elena said, though she was smiling. It's just coffee. Just coffee, Zekthor repeated, his compound eyes half closing for the first time in 73 hours. On behalf of the Vraxian Science Collective, I am officially recommending that caffeine be classified as a Class 3 combat stimulant. No other species should attempt consumption without proper medical supervision and a minimum of 6 safety protocols. HFY and Takar stumbled into the lab, looking equally wrecked. We second this motion, they said in unison. Adam raised his coffee cup in a mock toast. To humanity. The only species crazy enough to get addicted to their own performance-enhancing drugs. To humanity, Zekthor echoed weakly. May the galaxy never truly understand what drives you. As the 3 Vraxians were escorted to medical bay for observation and eventual sedation, Elena and Adam shared a knowing look. The galaxy was still learning what humans were capable of, still discovering the strange adaptations that had made them who they were. Coffee was just the beginning. Somewhere in the human quarter, a coffee shop was already brewing its morning batch, preparing to fuel another day of human activity, human ingenuity, and human madness. The galaxy had accepted humanity into its ranks, but it was still learning the most important lesson. Never underestimate what a human could do when properly caffeinated. And definitely never try to keep up with them.